Hello, welcome to the video. This is just going to be a video explaining what's been going on with me within the last year, or almost a year now, and why I haven't been making videos. Before I do start, I will say that there are plenty of people that make YouTube videos for either a living or a hobby that have gone through harder things or are going through harder things than me, and they still do this. But at the same time, everybody deals with things like stress in different ways. And just take that into consideration. But I'm hoping everybody will stay for the full video, explaining what's been going on. Because I know I said I was going to make this video, and I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and I've been wanting to get back into YouTube for a while, and now that I'm in a spot where I feel like I can, I'm going to start making videos again. And I've got a couple games that I really want to play. One of them that I've already started playing because it's like nostalgia and I have to. But anyway, so let's start out about a year ago, about this time. And actually, what I'm gonna do, just to make sure, is I'm gonna pull up my handy dandy calendar. I guess that doesn't. Yeah, we'll just do that. So, there's some people's names I'm gonna keep out of this because obviously I don't know if they want to be a part of it. I'm not like flaming them or anything like that, because the only person that I'm going to be naming, there's only one guy I'm going to be naming in this, and it's for a good reason. But anyway, so let's start about a year ago this time, so about August 2017. As you guys might have known, I worked for a Metro PCS authorized dealer. I loved working for Metro PCS. I love technology. I love cell phones. I love all the little things that they can do. And after working for Metro, after working for Metro for a couple of months, when I started back with them at the beginning of 2017 or 2016, 2016, I finally realized, I finally saw all of these budget end phones that were anywhere from $29 to like $250 that were actually, for the price point, really good. They were all Android phones, obviously, but they were really good, and they were just getting better. We had like the ZTE Z Max Pro, and then its upgrade version, the ZTE Blade Z Max, that had a dual lens camera, and it was $179. USB-C, 3400 milliamp battery, full 1080p screen, Snapdragon, the ZTE Z Max Pro had like a Snapdragon 635 or something like that, and 2 gigs of RAM. I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, this is actually pretty good. Even so good that I started playing on a second Pokemon Go account on that device for the longest time because I switched over to Metro service, because Metro's service, especially around here, is pretty much the same coverage as Verizon and especially AT&T, because usually they've been the top dog for cell coverage, but Metro is right there with them, especially now. But the speeds are way more, and it's way cheaper. Like $60 a month, I get unlimited talk, text, and data, and 10 gigs of hotspot, and I'm getting 2 or 3 times the amount of speed that my girlfriend gets on her AT&T phone. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. Back onto it. You might want to grab a drink, grab something to snack on, and take a seat. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm going to try to make it not be too long. Might end up being 10 minutes. Might end up being 30. I don't know. We're going to find out. And we're going to find out together. So, I'm working for Metro PCS. It is an authorized dealer, so we have a... what was it called? Like a sub-dealer? Basically, Metro PCS is the top company. and they own all these phones and all this merchandise. And there's a company below them, a sub dealer, that goes, hey, we'll buy a location, we'll buy like a store, just an empty lot for a store, and we will buy your product and put it into the store, and sell it so that we get revenue, our employees get revenue, and most importantly, you guys get revenue. And that's kind of how they worked, from my understanding. If anybody watches this video in the future, or even now, that works for Metro PCS that's higher up and it doesn't work like that, put it in the comments if you'd like. From my understanding, that's how it worked. And honestly, I think it works great. So I worked through this Metro PCS authorized dealer for a company called Northwest Cellular. That was the sub dealer that I worked through. And Northwest Cellular, for the most part, was really amazing. A lot of amazing people. They had a really great. They used some chat service through Skype. I forgot what it's called. So that we could all post our sales and stuff like that and get a little bit of bragging in. But more importantly, we could actually push each other to succeed. It was really nice. It was a good platform. I really liked it. It was a 10 to 7 job, 5 days a week for me. And it worked. I could either come home, I could record a video and then set it to post the next day. Or I could, on my 2-day weekend, I could do something. Or when I get off on my Friday, Kilgore and I could stream. Something like that. But I really liked it. But about a year ago, in August or so, the company decided that they wanted to sell our store to another sub-dealer. I'm not exactly sure what was going on. I wasn't the manager. I don't know what happened. I'm assuming that it was probably that we weren't showing the numbers that some of the cities were showing, because where the store was located was in Newport, Oregon, and Newport, Oregon is a pretty small town. I think there's like 30,000 people. Don't quote me on that. I don't even know. But a lot of Northwest Cellular's other stores were up in the Portland metro area, which is like the big city of it's like the big city of Oregon. It's like Washington, Seattle, Nevada's Las Vegas, California's LA, that type of deal. So I believe it was probably that the numbers weren't right for them. They weren't making enough of a profit, because I know they were making a profit. I was selling, like, we did a good job. My manager and I think we did a great job, except for in the winter. But Newport is a tourist town anyway, so when it comes to winter, everything dies. Like, if you're a new business, that is the winter's coming, type of deal. So they decided to sell to another company. The manager and I were really scared, because we thought, obviously, we're going under new management. We're going to get fired, and he's going to replace us with some of his employees that he already has from his other locations. From what we were told, is that he had plenty of other locations and plenty of other employees that they all talked to, and that they all told Northwest Cellular higher ups, yeah, this is a great guy. This is a good company to work for through Metro PCS. So we were eased a little bit, but we still had this like looming existential dread over our shoulders, for a right reason, because it's scary. And this being the first time it's ever happened to me when I've worked at a place, it sucked, because obviously from me not making videos, it went bad. So I believe, man, I don't even know if it's the right. Was it October? I believe it was the end of October. Come the end of October, the last weekend, it was the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th of October of 2017. It was KomoriCon, and I was there, and my girlfriend was there, and we had her friend there, and it was an awesome time. And you guys probably saw all the images and stuff that I posted. And Super Mario Odyssey came out, and then I didn't play it for like a week and a half after I bought it, because obviously you're at a convention. That last convention was really, really big for me and Cass. Like, there was oh man, I'm gonna forget his name. Basically the voice actors for both Natsu and Lucy were there from Fairy Tail, and we love Fairy Tail. And she went as Lucy and I went as Natsu, and it was awesome. So we met them and stuff, and it was a really, really, really busy one, so I didn't get to play Odyssey. There were some other people playing it when we were there at the con, and I was like, oh no, I can't look at it, I must play it for myself. But yeah, so we went to KomoriCon. It was an amazing time, like it is every year, especially now that they're in the downtown convention center. This was the second year they were, and we're going back again this year. So if you guys want to go to KomoriCon, check out, maybe I'll remember to put a link in the description, but go just type in KomoriCon Portland, Oregon, and you'll find the website. I believe tickets are still on sale. I think they even sell them all the way up to the event date, and you can buy them at the door. It's really awesome. You probably won't be able to find a hotel, because usually it's like 6 months before the con that all the hotels that are close get booked. We always choose to go to the downtown convention, the Quality Inn downtown convention center, because it's a couple of blocks away. It's like 2 or 3 blocks away, but it's really nice because by the time you walk to the con, you're kind of awake a little bit. The blood has started flowing and everything, and it's a nice little hotel. It's got a pool. It's got free breakfast as much as you want to eat, which is nice, because then you can like gorge yourself until you're gonna throw up, so that you don't have to eat as much throughout the day at the con and spend all that other money, and you can spend it on merch, because everybody loves merch, as you can see from behind us. Yeah. So yeah, we went to KomoriCon again. It was awesome, and I came back on that Monday, it was the 30th, to find out that over the weekend, Northwest Cellular had sold the Metro PCS authorized dealer location in Newport to a company called Fast Via Computers. And at first, obviously, again, we were really worried. We didn't know who these people were, and lo and behold, we had actually met the guy. We had met the guy previously. He had come in with some other dude. I don't know who this other guy was, because we had never heard or seen from that other guy again. I think it was just one of his friends, because they were visiting down in Newport, because they were from like Washington or something, like Spokane or something, and they owned metros in Oregon. Probably get away from the sales tax, because these guys were kind of sketchy. This guy was kind of sketchy, the way that he ran his businesses. But so Fast Via Computers took over the location. We were really worried, and it was going to be in like the next day or two that we were still going to sell everything the same that we were selling it through Northwest Cellular, so that they could keep track of numbers and whatnot, and they were just going to transfer it over to the new guy when he finally got there. So the owner of Fast Via Computers a couple days later ended up coming down and meeting us, and he actually took us out for lunch and stuff like that, because we pretty much had to completely shut down the store, and it was shut down for, I want to say it was like a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks, that we couldn't really sell anything, and we were just getting paid to sit around, and we were still setting a lot of stuff up. We were clearing a lot of Northwest Cellular's merchandise out and bringing in his. I know it's all through Metro PCS, but they have their own. Sub dealers have their own inventory for everything: phones, accessories, what have you. So there was a lot of that, but then there was a lot of there was a lot of customers that we had to turn down. We were just starting to slow down into wintertime. This was fall, but we still had a lot of customers. It was usually until about November. It was like just before, after Halloween and just before Thanksgiving, where it really kind of like slowed down, and then Thanksgiving hit, and it was like big, and Black Friday, and then it slowed down for a couple weeks, and then it would boom again because Christmas. And then spring was coming around the corner, so it would slow down a little bit more, and then it'd spring, and it'd just be fire hot all through the friggin' summer, and it was awesome. But this other guy, he finally came down. We met with him. We went out to lunch. I need a new chair. This thing is ripping on me. You guys can't even. Yeah, you can tell it's like getting bad. If you guys want to donate a chair, it's your boy. Took us to lunch at La Roca and stuff like that, which was really awesome. But he spilled his beer all over me because he got drunk. And so did some of the people from Northwest Cellular, because it was kind of like a big meeting between the higher-ups of Fast Via Computers and the higher-ups of Northwest Cellular, and then me and the manager were just like, hey, we're here too, cool. Because more often than not, it was pretty much the manager's store and my store, because we were like the only ones that worked there. We had other people, bless their hearts, especially this one lady that worked with me there, and she was awesome. I'd work with her. I'd work with her at any job, anytime, and not throw a fit about it, because she was awesome, and she knows if she watches this video, she know who I'm talking about. You good. Yeah, so sold the company to this new guy, Ricardo Nascimento, which isn't his real name, which I came to find out later. And I worked for him for about a month. Pretty much the final straw. Let's see here. Maybe it was September. I don't know. It was sometime then. I thought it was in October. I believe I worked for him for about a month. For that company, and I ended up taking I ended up taking one of my family members up to the hospital because they were having some health issues, and they couldn't go to the local hospital. I had to take them to Portland Hospital because our hospital doesn't have a cardiologist or whatever, the heart doctors. And so I had to take her up to Portland because she couldn't drive. She was passing out every like 30 minutes or so, and when it's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive, you can't drive when you're passing out. So I took her up there, and I didn't just leave work. I didn't just not call in. I called in, okay, and my manager is a witness, and he was okay with it. That's the other thing. I called in. I didn't even call in, actually. I went in 3 hours before my shift. I went in 3 hours before my shift and was like, hey, this is what's going on. Can I get the day off? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I've got it covered. He was supposed to have a half day that day, but he's a really awesome guy. And he let me go for the day to help my family member. But the owner of Fast Via Computers, Ricardo Nascimento, did not like that. And he pretty much fired me on the spot without actually saying it. He didn't say it to me. He didn't say it to my manager. He just said that I was done. From what I know, like, that's pretty much all he said. And it wasn't until the next day, it was like one of the Wednesdays or something like that. I think in November or something like that. Yeah, maybe it was September when it happened, and then then we had October, and then things were going down, because I think it was November 7th or something like that it was my last day. But anyway, I believe it was sometime in November, because I was jobless for about a month, which is great. Ugh, that sucked. But hi dog. It's a dog. Hi puppy. Come here. Everybody say hi dog. That's Lulu. Yep. Okay. Here, you want to sit here on my lap, or? So yeah, I get back, and it was the next day. I came to work, and I'm sweeping floors, getting ready for the day, sweeping and mopping and vacuuming the carpets and whatnot, cleaning the displays, and Ricardo ends up texting my manager asking why I'm in his store. And my manager confusingly texts him back and says he has work today with a question mark. And Ricardo says, no, I told you he's fired. And so immediately my and I didn't know this at first. I'm just like sweeping and mopping and stuff. And he and my manager just like books it out the door, like just gone. And I was like, huh? And he's holding his phone up to his head, like he's calling somebody. And he's out there for quite a while. And he comes back in, I want to say like 20 minutes later or so, and he says, get all your stuff. We are leaving the store. I'm like, what? What do you mean, what? And he's like, get your stuff and get out of the store. We're leaving. We're leaving. We, two people, him, manager and me, we are leaving. So I'm like, crap. Okay. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, I just lost my job, didn't I? For no reason. For no reason. And I did. I pretty much lost my job for no reason. Ricardo Nascimento never really gave me a full reason, but apparently he had said, which my manager had let me know, is that he, when they were on the phone, because he had called Ricardo and was like, why is he fired? You're not giving me a valid reason. And Ricardo was like, well, I don't need a valid reason. Which, in the state of Oregon, you don't. You can pretty much get fired for anything. It does not matter. If the owner of the company or the owner of the business or the manager of the business doesn't want you there anymore, they can tell you you're fired. You're done. And you can't even get unemployment for it, which is the next spot that we're going to come to. So, yeah, he said that he wasn't giving him a real reason to fire me, so he disagreed with the owner of Fast Via Computers, Ricardo Nascimento, and Ricardo's like, cool, well then you're both fired, get out of my store, I'm sending the police there if you're not out in 10 minutes for trespassing. So we both got fired that day. Him for insubordination because he wouldn't fire me, and me because I don't know. Apparently he had plenty of reasons, and he tried to explain those in court later on. And the judge was like, those aren't valid reasons. Yes, you can fire somebody for pretty much for pretty much no reason. But if they want unemployment and stuff like that, and they need benefits for being fired for no reason, they're gonna get it. You denying them for all these false accusations, for all these false reasons, is going to come back on you. And it did. It came back on him. So anyway, I applied for unemployment, obviously, because I need money too. And it's coming into winter. And in the Newport area, when it comes into winter, it's almost impossible to find a job unless you're a yuppie sitting on the top of the hill that has 5 family members that actually own businesses that you can actually work for. That's just kind of how it is. It sucks. And if anybody in Newport wants to change my mind. So, that's just the nature of tourist towns, kind of. And when you don't have experience, because even though I'm almost 25 now, I've only had like 3 jobs up until this point, and one of them didn't even really exist. Not completely. So really only 2 experienced positions before this. So yeah, at first didn't get my unemployment, and then I appealed it. We got a court date set up, and we had a over-the-phone court date. And in this court date, I basically explained to the judge that I still don't have a valid reason on why I was fired. I understand now. Now I'm looking at it, because my manager and I had even talked to lawyers and stuff like that, seeing what we could do. Because there's a lot of sketchy stuff that happened, which I'm not going to completely go into detail, because it doesn't matter anymore. All of this doesn't matter anymore, really. But I want to let you guys know. I want to keep you guys connected. Like, I care about the people that watch my videos because I want people to watch my videos because I want people to gain some entertainment out of it. That's all. It's just fun to make videos, okay? Jeez! And the judge basically asked him, he was like, why did you fire him? Because from our statements here from you, it doesn't really seem that you have a real idea of how to fire people in the state of Oregon, knowing that you live in like Spokane, Washington or something like that. And he blabbered off. He told him about some things that happened. There was one thing that happened. He had a very unstable like computer situation compared to what Northwest Cellular had. Northwest Cellular, when you sold a phone, you entered into the computer and stuff like they do at cell phone stores to like activate it and stuff. It keeps track of that information and automatically sends it to the warehouse so that your highest up president or CEO of the company knows exactly what you're selling, for what price, how many, how frequently, what time, what date. Does all that for you. Fast via computers didn't have that. He had us write it out on a freaking piece of paper saying what we had sold, how much we sold, and then the date. And it was like that, and then take a picture of the piece of paper with our phone and send it to him via text message. You see how that could be an issue? What happened with that? And what I believe what happened is that he had a Chinese phone, the one that the one of the first ones that didn't have like any bezel except for on the bottom and the camera was on the bottom. He had one of those, but it was when they were still like testing it. It wasn't like 100% released. Okay. And he had even shown it to me when we first started working for him, because I was like, dude, that's so cool. Can I look at the phone? Because I'm a phone enthusiast. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I looked at it. It was not 100% there. It was basically a tester phone for what was to come, like a developer phone. It wasn't 100% there. But I don't know what happened. There was one time that I forgot to send him the daily report, and I didn't, because it was later that night, about 2 hours after my shift, that Ricardo had called my manager and started cussing him out over the phone from what my manager told me, and yelling at him that, you know, why is he not sending me this and that and the other, and why is this happening so many times when this was only the first time that it had happened. So my manager says, dude, calm down. I'm getting off the phone because I'm not going to listen to you scream. And he texts me and he says, hey, why are you not sending the report to him? And I go back to my text message and it says, sent at this time to Ricardo Nascimento. So I screenshot it and I send that screenshot to Rob and I say, it did at this time. It shows the timestamp and everything because I've got an iPhone, and any smartphone does that nowadays. So I send that to him and he looks at it and then he sends that to Ricardo and he's like, he did send it. What's the problem? And Ricardo goes off again. He's all pissed off because he didn't receive it. I believe it's because his phone was still an experimental phone and it probably wasn't receiving it because of that. But I don't know, because it was the next day at around 11:30 that I got a notification on my phone saying that the message failed to send. I don't know. I don't know why it took it that long. I don't turn my phone off, which I probably should turn it off more often. At night, I plug it into the charger and let it charge all the way up. By the time I wake up in the morning, it's fully charged. I'm ready to go for another day. Especially with the massive battery case that I have on it. So, I don't know why it didn't send, but I sent it. And that's something that I added into my case report for the trial. But yeah, essentially it was all dropped. The judge was like, dude, he's getting his money and you're going to be reprimanded for this. And this whole time while he was denying that we could get unemployment, both my manager and I, we found out that he had actually closed down his other two stores. he had his employees up from the Seaside location in Oregon, which is about 2.5 hours away from Newport on the 101. He had them come down there, and he had actually just left. I don't know if he was trying to like flee the country or what was going on, if he was just trying to get away with fraud. But he wasn't answering anybody's phone calls. He wasn't answering even corporate metros. Like, not even like the highest up of the highest up. Those people, he couldn't. They couldn't get a hold of him, and they couldn't get a hold of him. And those other people that he had employees for in like a couple other towns lost their jobs, and they were stuck in Newport, away from home, with no job. And one of them I think ended up working at McDonald's or something. I don't know. But I found out, and the biggest thing, the great holy thing that made it all better is that I found out, and there's no problem. I got dog hair all over me now. There's no problem with guys that have a name that could sound kind of like a girl's name, but his name was Felicia Ricardo Nascimento. Other cultures can have different ways of like naming their kids, and that's fine, but I thought it was funny mainly because he obviously hid that from us, and he hides it from everybody else. That was pretty much the only reason it was funny. Like, if my name was Felicia, Felicia, I'm gonna be like, yeah, my name's Felicia. That's just kind of how it is. Because that's the name my parents gave me, and he's a grown man. He was like 48 or something like that. He can go and change it. He can spend the like he can spend a couple $100 to go get his name changed if he really wants to. But instead, he used his middle name as his first name and then his last name. And that was it. And it was funny. And when we were in the over the phone court date, I had to like smash the mute button on my phone because I started laughing hard. But anyway, I spent way too long on that because we've been going for about 32 minutes now. Sorry, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. So, all in all, I was really stressed because last year around this time, we found out that the company the sub-dealer we worked for was selling to another sub-dealer. We were scared about losing our jobs, which we did. So we were rightfully scared. From like November to December, halfway through December, just before Christmas, I finally got another job. And it was awesome, which it's actually the same job I have now, and we'll get to that. I'm actually an overnight security guard for the Oregon Coast Aquarium. And I do security guard. I'm more like a husbandry checklist dude. I go around and I make sure all the pumps are running. There's water flowing through them. They're at the proper temperature. Make sure there's proper salinity coming from the bay, to make sure that all the animals in the aquarium live. While the actual life support guys and all the fish people and all the actual aquarists are able to go home and they're able to rest up for the night so they can come back and they can do the same thing the next day. But I only did this job for a short while because in 2017 around April I had actually applied to another job. I had applied to be a dispatcher for a police department. So right around the beginning of the year sometime, I had got a letter in the mail saying that they were going to start the final application process for dispatch for this police department that I applied for. And I was one of the people that they wanted to take me through the final steps. I did all those, and I passed. And so I started working for a local police department as a dispatcher, which is the person when you call 911 and they say, 911, where's your emergency? That was me for a very short amount of time and not really doing 100% of the job. Not even doing 20% of the job. So I started working for them. They were 10-hour shifts, 5 days a week. Yeah, 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week, because it was 40-hour a week. So 10-hour days, 4 days a week, starting out, and soon to come to 12 hours a day, like 4 days a week, I think. So then, after starting with them, it was around March, I believe, where I had to go to the police academy in Salem, Oregon, where basically anyone that's a police officer, a sheriff, state trooper, corrections, any of them, anything that has to do with any like policing, they go there and they stay there for a certain amount of weeks, and they get their DPSST. I don't even remember what department DP, like DP, I can't remember. I woke up like 2 hours ago at like 5 because I work grave. I work from 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. But anyway, so I went there, I passed, I graduated. I have my DPSST. I still have it, actually. It's a cool thing to have on my record, at least for a little while, showing that I completed something. I did something with my life. And then I went back to the department after that, because it was a 2-week course, and I was staying up there at the academy, in their crappy little dorm room with their crappy little beds. They're not the worst, and they were really lenient with the dispatchers, with the police officers. They have to use just the blankets that they receive. They don't get to bring their own blankets and pillows like we did. We were a little pampered, I'll admit, but we still did our job, and we did it good. So yeah, get back to the police department. I was working there for about another month and a half before I realized that I couldn't do the job. They started putting me onto the main console, and I was freezing up a lot. I had information overload. I couldn't do the job. I cannot, at least right now in my life, I don't have what it takes to be a dispatcher. And I feel like it takes a lot to say that, and a lot of the people at the police department also think that it takes a lot to say that, because it does. It takes a lot to be like, I am a public servant or whatever, and I have to show that I cannot do this, and I have to pretty much show that to the whole public in a way. So I put in a letter of resignation, and I was terrified yet again, because I have a car payment, I've got rent I've got to pay, I've got bills I have to pay, I've got mouths I have to feed, like a dog. Hi, puppy. Hi. So, you know, it sucks losing your job when you're an adult and you have a financial situation you have to take care of. And that really sucked, because I really wanted to work for the police department. I've always wanted to do something to where I'm helping the public, and then also the pay was like really good, and had good benefits and stuff like that. But it ended up not working out, and it sucks. And there's no one to blame other than me. But I'm not like blaming myself, if that makes sense. Because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I accepted that for what it was. So, luckily, I went and I talked to my old manager from TCB, and they agreed, heck yeah, your position's still open, and we still need to fill it. So I'm back working for them. And it's been great. There's things that have happened with the security company, and local people will know what's going on, or know what the media says, because what the media says isn't always the truth. Okay? People jump to conclusions, and some people's lives have been completely ruined for it. And then some people lie, and people's lives are ruined. So, it's really warm in here. I think I might need to grab a fan, but I'm gonna finish this video, because after this I'm gonna start recording some Let's Plays. I have 2 games I'm gonna start recording. It's gonna be awesome. Blink. So I started working with this security company again, overnight security at the Oregon Coast Aquarium, keeping all the fishies alive, making sure they're happy, more or less. And yeah, I'm finally back into like kind of a stable sleeping schedule. It's overnight, and we're not nocturnal animals. We're not. How much you? It doesn't matter how much you think you are. You're not a nocturnal animal. That's just how it's ingrained into our system. We're supposed to be awake during the day and asleep during the night. This is how it is. We can change it, but it doesn't work 100% still. And that's kind of where I am. It's working, but it's not 100%. But sometimes I have to have a NOS to get myself going again. So yeah, it's been quite a hectic year. June, I went up and saw what my bestie up in Washington with the good old RX-8. Love the car. It's an amazing car. If you haven't had a rotary car, I recommend at least have one for a little while. Experience it, because it's different. And I love it. You might not like it, and that's fine. That's fine. It's not for everybody. But I went up to Washington in June to see my best friend, spend a couple days with him. It was kind of in that transitional period where I was going from when I was just before I started working for the security company. And went up there and I got up there. It's about 350 miles away or something like that, I think. Yeah, 350 miles one way or so. Get up there. Everything's hunky-dory. My friend and I go into town because I wanted to go to a store and see if they had some other pair of jeans, because I brought shorts because I was expecting it to be hot and humid like it is up there in that area of Washington that I went. And we get back home. As we're going back home, about 3 blocks away from his house, my car dies. Ouch. So about $1,500 later, my car's running again. Luckily, my friend's family is like, I love them to death. They care for me so much, and I wouldn't have probably had the job if I wouldn't have had them helping me, because they helped me pay for the repairs on the car initially. It was the coils that went out, and I had taken care of the car so well. The coils and the spark plugs were the two things that I had not taken care of yet. Take care of your cars, kids, not just the oil, but you need to do everything. Fuses, coils, spark plugs, all of that. Windshield wiper fluid, blinker fluid. So, yeah, but she's back up on the road. Drove her all the way home. Everything is fine. And here we are. I feel better. And I'm back. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe. If you have something to say or you don't have anything to say, leave a comment if you want. I'd appreciate it. Just to know that you all are alive. I know a lot of you have probably already left the video by now, because there's a 43-minute video so far. Woo! Long video. Sorry. I feel like it was worth it to have this video, because I want to let you guys know. I want to keep you guys in the loop. There's certain things I can't say, obviously, like people's names. But that's just because I care. But I don't really care what I tell you guys about my life. If you know, a lot of it, I'll tell you. That's fine. I don't have anything to hide. It's kind of how I roll. So, anyway, yeah. So again, I've got a couple videos I'm going to start recording. Two new series that I'm going to start. I know you guys probably want me to finish Super Mario Sunshine, so I think I need to finish that. I think I'm going to do that level off screen though, because I love that level. And then I might be making a second channel, or I might post it here. I've been wanting to record Pokemon Go. So good. That was a crappy Trump impression. I've been wanting to play and record Pokemon Go. I don't know if I should put it on this channel or on a second channel. I was thinking of probably just put it on this channel, because I'll probably only do like one video a week. I know that's not a lot. And any news that comes out, I can just pour it into one video. Yes, there are plenty of other people that do it, but that's fine. I want to do it because I think it'll be fun. Tell me what you guys think down in the description below. If you guys would like, if you really would like to see me do some Pokemon Go episodes. Again, it'd probably be once a week. There'd be that video and then one video from one of the other series eyes. But since I'm doing 2, I might do Pokemon Go and then 2 other videos, so 3 videos a week. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Put it down in the description. Show me that you're there. Show me that you care. Leave a like. Favorite the video. Do all that other crap. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great day. And again, thank you for watching. See y'all next time.